This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. We are at One Flight International. Since 2010, they have been providing members with luxury jets from a premier private jet company. I'm here with the founder, CEO, Farron. Let me ask you first of all, share with us a little bit how you began the company here and also your passion with flying.
Well, as far as flight goes, I've had a passion since I was a little baby. I've played with planes instead of cars. So I grew into eventually getting my own pilot's license. I have a passion for flight. Developing the company was a result of certain losses in my life, and one of those was I grew to a point where I actually had several of my own planes and eventually lost them because of financial crisis. And then I thought about, well, how could I get into the industry without having to own a plane and still enjoy my passion? Well, the alternatives were pretty expensive. You could charter a plane, but I didn't want to do that. It gave me the idea of being able to deliver something to myself, to enjoy the industry, to fly in a private plane in a most economical way, and therefore led to offering this to the rest of the industry.
One of the dreams out there for many people is the dream of flying their own jet, basically controlling their own travel destiny. Many times, though, the burden of ownership is something that maybe they didn't realize. What are some of the burdens out there from somebody who has plane ownership?
Obviously, the biggest burden is financial. To give you an example, if you want to get into this industry and own your own plane, well, you have to expect to write a check for a few $1 million to buy one. Then you have to go into the fixed costs, which is the pilot's salaries, insurance, hangar costs. Those could amount to anywhere from $30,000-$40,000 on up to $100,000 a month. And at this point, you haven't even flown the plane yet. So the third cost is the cost of operating the aircraft, which is therefore the cost of maintenance and fuel. So when you look at the third cost and you just look at that in itself, it's not so bad. If you imagine a plane with 8 seats that can take you from, say, Denver to Las Vegas and back in $6,000, well, it's pretty good. It's pretty nice. If you compare that to first class, why would you fly first class? But the other two expenses of the purchase price and the monthly fixed costs are what killed the deal.
Quite honestly, your company has taken the ownership costs out of the equation, and now what you've got left is basically operating costs, pretty much like you own the plane.
Correct. Our program is a membership. Okay, so it's a country club in the sky, as we call it, the Jet Club. We're the only ones in the world that has created such a product. Majority of them are part ownerships called fractional ownerships, or they have what they call membership jet cards. Therefore, you buy in X number of hours, 25 or 50 hours in a light jet annually, and that may run anywhere from $150,000 to $300,000. It's a debit card. You basically pay for everything up front, and then when you use those hours, they just debit it out of your account. Our program is very, very different. Our program is similar to ownership, so you're paying the flight costs as you fly. Those costs, operating costs, also you're paying monthly for the monthly membership. It's similar to having a country club, like I said, or if you have a health club membership, you pay monthly fees and then you go use all the equipment. The benefit that we have versus ownership is when you own a plane, you own one plane, and your limitations are one plane. With us, we have access to 12,000 jets all over the world. So in essence, you get to feel like you own all 12,000 and you get to fly whichever one you want.
So you're talking about you still have the freedom to fly where you want, when you want, but even more freedom because you're able to choose from honestly a fleet of over 12,000 in your fleet worldwide. That's got to make it real convenient for people when they're scheduling.
If you look at the corporate world, let's say you look at a very big company and they've got several big satellite offices from the coast to coast, let's say New York, Houston, and California, okay? And they have to have an executive meeting in Denver, and they've got one jet. Well, how is a jet going to take all of these executives into Denver? They're going to fly from New York to Houston, out to Southern California, pick up all these people, and then route back to Colorado. With us, if they had a membership, it would have eliminated the asset off of their balance sheet, so they don't have that burden, and they could fly all three executives into Denver with 3 different aircrafts under one membership, and they don't have to have the burden of owning 3 aircraft.
As they say, time is money, and so quite honestly, if you have a fleet at your disposal like that, the scheduling is easier, the availability is easier. So really, this is a model that works not only for personal flyers, but business flyers, as you've stated.
Absolutely, yeah. Majority of the people that are flying are business flyers with us. There's probably a 30% ratio, 30-70, the 30% that fly for their own pleasure and personal purposes. But majority of them are business.
Share with us a little bit what we might find in the fleet there you have. We're talking about light jet, mid-size, even large cabin. Is that correct?
Yes, we have all of them. In fact, there isn't something that we cannot offer. We start from the light jets. In fact, we even start from turboprops. So turboprops, light jets, mid-size, to the large cabins, to the big business jets, the Boeing business jets that carry, 50 executives, and of course we can travel across the globe. So we have a wide variety of product that we can.
So basically, a flyer out there can decide what type of amenities they're looking for as well. And really, it's kind of an uncommon model that you put together here. We're talking about even no peak days. Share with me what that means.
So in the industry, they have, a lot of companies offer fractional models or jet cards. They always have restrictions during peak flying times. Okay, you're talking about Christmas, New Year's, these types of holidays. Some of them will have huge upcharges for those types of holidays. Some of them will have restrictions that you cannot even fly on those days. We don't have any such situation. Our model is, like you said, as if you own the plane. So, if you own the plane, you don't have those types of restrictions, so we want to make sure that's very clearly understood.
What about getting to the plane itself, reposition charges, ferry fees, anything like that? How does that work with your company?
We don't have any. Let's say you're sitting in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you need a plane to go to, to Dallas. It's a short hop, but they don't have their planes there. So a plane from a charter industry would have to come out there, pick you up, and then fly you to Dallas, and they would actually charge you for that repositioning, or what we call ferry fee. Those are costs of fuel and operating of that aircraft, which become thousands of dollars worth of wasted dollars. We don't have any such thing in our model. Again, similar to ownership. As if you own the plane that's sitting right there for you in Tulsa. So we don't have repositioning, we don't have ferry fees.
So be it a one-way trip or a round trip, you're talking pretty much like a portal-to-portal is what you're paying for. Even unoccupied time, they're not paying for that as well.
Imagine you own a plane and what you're going to pay when you fly your own plane. Let's say you're flying from point A to B and you're going to stay there for 3 nights and then you're going to fly back. We do have an overnight charge for those 3 nights. I mean, right now we're running at $500 overnight charges. That, similar to ownership, would be what you'd be, in fact, paying for your pilots and so forth.
John, let me ask you, I discussed with Farron, obviously, the business model that has, quite honestly, this industry taken a look at something new, not only for the corporate world. Business flyers, pleasure flyers are taking notice. I imagine one of the popular questions that you get across the board is how you're able to provide this quality and level of service, basically, at a cost possibly at a fraction of what others are able to do so.
When we started this 4 years ago, Barron approached me with this idea of opening up a different model than everybody else out there. And the curious thing was to me, how are you going to do it? Well, what he came up with was something unique and different that I've never heard of before. He came up with the mathematical formulas and calculations that nobody in the industry has figured out how to make these formulas and calculations work. So it's a different way of going around the method by keeping our overhead low and the mathematical formulations that he came up with, and that, frankly, I don't think anybody in the industry can come up with, and they've tried to. And the way the formulas work and the calculations work, I'm not even privy to know because it's all in his head and it's all in his computer. So the way we've come up with is when you look at all-in hourly rates with my competitors, generally they're anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000. We're in that $3,500 to $4,000 range. So there's a big difference. There's a big swing in the calculations and the differences that come out. But when it's all said and done, it's the formulas that he came up with that have really launched this company and brought it to the forefront. And we're moving and grooving. We're doing really well right now.
The knowledge basically of the industry within itself, obviously he has to have a great grasp of to even come up with those calculations like that. Basically, is this something that is kind of comparing apples to oranges compared to the traditional industry?
He had his own private aircraft at one time. Okay. He figured out what it costs to fly that aircraft on an hourly basis. And he couldn't understand why that everybody else out there is charging $4,000 and $5,000 when in reality it's $2,000 to $3,000 to operate an aircraft. Well, what he did is taking that knowledge from his own private experience and flying his own private jets to then incorporating that into his financial calculations and figuring out, okay, well, we're not going to gouge these customers because really and truly it only costs this much to fly an aircraft. So why are we going to go ahead and just overcharge? Well, that in return, we came back to the point of we're not going to gouge our customers, we're not going to overprice, we're going to use our calculations and, continue to move forward.
Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website, you'll get a clear idea of a lot of the fleet they have. You can take a look and see also the services that they provide. The best part there is you can also see a real competitive pricing between the different levels, as well as you can get an instant quote right there online, be it a round trip or a one-way trip. They've got it all covered for you right there as well. As you explained, obviously it's a membership. Share with me the 4 levels of membership. Is that pretty much based on how many passengers you're going to be working with?
Not exactly. It's mainly based on how much you're going to fly a year. Okay. And what type of aircraft you're going to fly. We've got 4 levels. We've got the bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. The bronze is for the one who flies maybe once every other month. The silver is double that, and so on for the gold and platinum. They also relate to the size of aircraft. The bronze is more related to the light jet, whereas the silver is more maybe a mid-sized jet. The platinum on top is more of the large cabin jets. If we look at the relative cost between one versus another, let's just say purchase price. You're talking about light jets that run $5 to $10 million versus the heavy jets that run maybe $50 to $60 million to buy one. Our memberships are related accordingly. However, it doesn't matter what level of membership you come in at. You can interchange anytime. Also, you can fly different levels of aircraft from any membership to any membership. So we have no restrictions. What I mean by that is, let's say you came in as a gold member. Gold member represents mid-size, super mid-size jets. Majority of the people, come to the gold membership and then they'll go fly the light jets. Why? Because the conversion of 25 hours in a gold converts to 75 hours in a light jet. So they end up getting more time. Right. But the beauty of our program is it's based on necessity. If there are only 2 passengers flying, then you only need a light jet. Light jets carry 6 to 8 passengers. But if there are 10 of you flying, then you probably want to be comfortable in more of a heavy jet. Well, with our program, you don't have to upsize your membership to fly that heavy jet. You can keep the same membership, whether it's a bronze or silver, and still fly the platinum jets. We just have a ratio interchange of how many hours that converts from a light jet to a large cabin jet. Our charges are month to month. Okay, we don't have long-term contracts, anything like that. So if you wanted to, if your needs changed, and therefore you're flying less now, we can reduce the size of your membership. Or if you're not going to fly for 6 months, you can suspend your membership and reactivate it at no additional fees 6 months later. So because of the flexibility of our model, we're starting to recognize that people want this, and they don't want to be strapped into contracts as some of the fractional products have been out there.
Folks, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is the website. They've also got the contact phone number right there, conveniently located right here in Denver, Colorado, and that is providing private jets worldwide. And like they say, you don't need to own, you need to fly. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. Once again, we're at Fisher Van Lines Moving and Storage. Since 2004, they have been providing high-quality moving and low prices for the folks of Denver and the surrounding areas. Jeff, let me begin first of all. Basically, you've been building a family legacy, one move at a time, many years here. What is it that got you started here in this industry?
Well, about 9 years ago, going on 10, I had been a mover off and on for about 13 years. And I was just starting a family, and I wanted to actually support my family on a different level. And I was actually going to church meetings, and I was inspired to start my own company when I was going to my meetings, and because I was searching for something, and I felt well, it says on the front of all my trucks, God moves in mysterious ways. I felt like God was pushing me to start my own company. And
folks are moving. They're moving to a new house, new apartment. It's an exciting time, but quite honestly, it can be a stressful time as well because they've got to do it in a timely fashion. They've also got to make sure that it's done safely. Is that why folks out there turn to professionals like you guys?
Oh yeah, we're trying to make the move as least stressful as possible and make sure everything goes smoothly and without a hitch, and get it done the way it should be done.
Right now we're standing in front of a couple of your trucks here. Quite honestly, you guys have some of the largest trucks in the industry. Share with me the fleet that you guys provide for folks.
well, this one right here is actually the first truck I started with. We call her Pioneer for the obvious reason of it started everything. She used to be a U-Haul years and years ago, and we created our black and gold beauties. But this is our 17-footer, and we have three different sizes. We have 17, 25, and 36-footer. We actually have a 42-foot that just got added to the fleet a couple of weeks back. This one goes at our lowest rate for a truck and two guys, and obviously the larger trucks go at higher rates. But they do bigger jobs, and these do the apartments.
And so basically, if a folks out there, they need a truck, you guys have them taken care of. What about for folks who maybe they've got their own truck already? Are you guys able to provide the manpower to get those loaded and unloaded for the folks as well?
Yeah, we can do that if they have their own truck, or if they're using relocation cubes, we can go out there and get that loaded for them. And we bring all the dollies and supplies we need to get that done for them.
You guys pride yourself on the fact that you're talking about a high quality move, friendly service, low prices, no hidden fees out there. Obviously, if you get on the line out there, you can see testimonials that really back up your reputation. You guys have a great standing on Angie's List. Basically, you're out there as well on the Better Business Bureau. We're talking about a gold member of Thumbtack. Basically, at the end of the day, are you always trying to improve that reputation?
Oh yeah, we've been top mover on Yelp for the last 6 years. Thank you so much, Denver, for that. We are all about making our people happy. We are nothing without the recommendations of our past customers. It means everything to us to have a happy customer, because that makes us feel like we're doing what we're there to do, and that is bringing the best service possible in Denver, Colorado.
Let's break down some of these details that really separate you guys from your competition. First of all, you guys are really sure that at the end of the job, folks are going to be happy. One of the reasons that they really pay for the job at the end, many times not even a deposit required up front. Share with me how that works.
There's no deposit down if it's a Monday through Friday job. We did just start doing deposits for a weekend job. It is low. It is only a $45 deposit that does go towards your move when that happens. But essentially, all you got to do is give us a call, and we walk you through how many guys you need, what size truck you need, let you know everything that's coming complimentary with the truck, like shrink wrap, tools for disassembly and reassembly, the pads, the straps, dollies, rug runners, wardrobe boxes, shrink wrap. Again, all that stuff is complimentary. And then, once they want to book, we just take down their information, and we'll give them a confirmation call a few days before the move, and then we show up on the day of the move and get everything done.
Get her done. That sounds great. Let me ask you this. I mean, for folks out there, it's very tempting sometimes to hire family and friends, try to get the move done. Quite honestly, if something goes wrong, there's no insurance there. Share with me some of the insurance that's involved here with going with a professional.
We're required to have a $750,000 aggregate insurance policy, but we do carry a $2 million aggregate insurance policy. When it comes to moving and storage, having family and friends, that's cute. But there's nothing like having a professional doing the job for you. There's an art to what we do. When it comes to disassembly, reassembly of your furniture, how to carry the furniture out of the house, how to stack and pack the back of a truck, how to pad wrap, there is an art to everything that we do. And we only hire the best.
So some serious sweat behind that art.
Oh, yes, sir. It is not for the light at heart.
I believe that.
Sir.
Let me
Nobody
ask you
likes
this.
that.
You go down the road here, you're able to see rental trucks with low prices plastered on the side, then only to find out later on that you're going to pay for the dolly, you're going to pay for the quilted padding, you're going to pay for the rug runners, you're going to pay for, you name it. You guys don't believe in those hidden fees. You kind of like putting everything up front for folks.
Yes, sir. We're all about what you see is what you get. And my guys ever give you any kind of misinformation, we will do our best to make sure that you understand it. We try to tell you every fee that you are possibly going to have from the beginning to the end, so there is no surprises whatsoever, and that's what we're all about here.
Excellent. I mean, a lot of companies out there, they charge what they call a portal-to-portal fee, which is basically when their guys leave the place and they get back. When does the clock start going here? Are we talking about the client's door, back to the client's door?
Our time starts when we get to the customer's house, and then ends when everything's off the truck and everything's where they want it in their new home.
Many times, folks, we're put in a situation where we have to put a move together rather quickly. Basically, a lot of times we're working during the weekdays. We have to do it on the weekends. Do you guys charge extra for the weekends? Do you charge extra because it's a rush fee? Explain to me.
No, sir. Moving's moving, and there's no other way to dial that in. If it's a last-minute job, if it's a job that you called, 2 months ahead of time, thank God for that, because obviously your stuff is going to be more prepared. But we'll get in there and get it done however you need us to do it. If we have it available, we're there same day. We're there next day. We don't do any extra charges for a last-minute job.
We've moved several times. I've moved from New York to Wisconsin and Wisconsin to Colorado, and I've just learned that you really have to choose a professional moving company if you want it done right. It's the second time, and I was so impressed with them the first time. I specifically asked for Harry. I call him my moving hero. He's just been awesome, and the rest of the crew's been awesome. They're just consummate professionals, know what they're doing, show up on time, are careful with our stuff. We've never had anything broken, and they're just fun to work with. So I would definitely recommend using Fisher.
Once again, that's why we come on out with Consumer News Television. We love these guys out here. There's no stair fee. There's no extra mileage fee if you're here in the Denver area. No distance fees. Quite honestly, they're going to be up front with you. So if you go to their website right there, check out their quote right there. You can just click on it there. They'll walk you through some steps, ask you some questions, and then basically somebody's going to reach out and contact you and find out they've got everything taken care of, so there's no surprises. You're also going to see some great links that they have provided right there. This is a family-owned and operated business with Sheba the mascot at the helm. I mean, you really can't go wrong. Basically, this is a complete crew out here that knows exactly what they're doing, and they have for some time. really, we're talking about, like you said, it's an art loading some of this stuff. Are you guys able to handle things like pianos, pool tables, antiques, fine furniture, the whole 9 yards?
Yeah, grand pianos, upright pianos, we can do that. We can definitely do your pool tables, your antiques. We do fine furniture, antique delivery. If it's something we haven't seen before, we'll learn how to do it and get it done. But I'm pretty sure there's nothing out there we haven't seen yet. So
Last time, folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. That is Fisher Van Lines Moving and Storage. Basically, since 2004, they have been moving your furniture, moving your homes, your belongings, and your valuables across Denver. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know. Until next time, if you know of a business who you feel the whole city should know about, nominate them, we'll send a reporter out. This is Gary Atencio from CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.